Guys,
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're all live and everything is hunky-dory. I'm going to just check whether there is our live stream is indeed working. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Good to see all of you. Happy May 1st, Labor Day. It's a very funny story. Labor Day. I think Labor Day is workers' union day. It's a kind of thing where we talk about blue collar workers. I think almost all blue collar workers in India work today. White collar guys take chutti in solidarity. And somebody has written saying that it's a holiday for irony. And anyway, May Day is Labor Day. Just good to see all of you. See, we're going to do a bunch of things today. You're all going to do your MBA. So before we jump in and talk about MBA and CAT and entrance exam and all that, you're going to be part of the capitalist fabric of whichever economy you're going to be part of. You're going to get millions of opportunities to generate shareholder value. Right? So please do that by all means. Shareholder value is the lifeblood of the global economy, as corny as it sounds. You will get chances to screw over other stakeholders in a bid to generate shareholder value. See if you can avoid that. See if you can avoid that, especially if it concerns government, poor people, or labor. Right? So with government, I'm okay. If it comes to it, I don't know whether we'll get in trouble for saying statements like this. If you must, then figure out ways of even sacrificing government. Poor people or labor, generally, don't take opportunity to generate shareholder value at the cost of poor people or white collar, blue collar workers or laborers. Right? So today is May Day. We're having a discussion on all kinds of things related to CAT on May Day. So keep that in mind. A lot of your economic models are going to talk about the interaction between capital and labor. You're going to be on the side of capital. You will be management speaking for owners. Frequently, you will turn out to be anti-labor. Please don't. And capital and labor need not be conflicting, need not be one against the other. Figure out ways of accommodating labor in your quest to generate more money for your capitalists. Keep that in mind. Let's carry on. What is the Abhishek has very kindly put together a wonderful agenda. Said, look, I need to go do one round of introduction. A couple of things straight away at the outset, and you can start now and crack this exam out of shit. Right? Lots and lots of people keep asking us, can we start in May? Can we start in June? You can start. You can start. Obviously, the later you start, the bigger hole you dig for yourself. If you have very strong fundamentals, like you're comfortable reading and you're comfortable with basic math, you can start with 3 months to go and nail this exam. But many, the vast majority of us are not like that. In which case, you need to build your fundamentals. You need to build the basics. In which case, the minimum required is 5 to 6 months. Right? But if you have 5 to 6 months, you have a good crack at it. The ballpark figure is you need about 400 hours to prepare for the exam. 400 hours to prepare for the exam. You can generate 400 hours over 10 months. You can generate 400 hours over 5 months also. And so right now, if we start now, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Exam is typically end of November. We have give or take 7 full months. That is more than enough time to crack this exam out of shit. Those of you who started preparing a little sooner, we're going to be thinking about taking mocks now. We're going to split this into 2 parts today's session. One small part is going to focus on how to prepare, but that's not going to be the majority of the session. The majority of the session is going to be about how to plan for your mocks, which is very much linked to preparation. It's not like hard and fast, broken down 2 silos for preparation and mocks. It's the same thing. Very interlinked 2 buckets, we can call it that. We're going to talk about how to prepare for this exam from scratch from May onwards, while also touching on, if you're doing mocks, what are the key things to keep in mind and how should you plan your mock taking. And so I'm going to hand over to Jatin to take you through the verbal parts of this. And so we're going to cover verbal, how to handle verbal components, how to prepare for verbal, how to learn verbal, and how to have a go at the verbal section in the actual CAT, or right now as a proxy for that in the mock. So verbal preparation and verbal how it sits inside mock. Both of that is going to cover. Then I'm going to do a bit about mocks. What are the things to keep in mind? And speak a little bit about what you want. After which we'll jump in and do questions and answers. Over to you, Jatin, for verbal.
All right. Thanks, Rajesh. Folks, I'm just going to jump into my presentation directly. And of course, I will introduce myself very quickly, but let's just go here. Okay, 1 second. Okay. I believe you can see my presentation. All right. So people, very quickly, my name is Jatin. I'm the head of verbal ability and reading comprehension and student care at 2M. You know what VRC is. Student care is our division in 2M, which is the student version of customer care, right? So in short, my job is to make sure that our students, the learning needs of our students are being met, their feedback is being addressed, and they're basically happy students at 2M, right? Okay, so as Rajesh said, I'll talk about verbal ability and reading comprehension because that's my section, and then I'll hand it over back to Rajesh, who will talk about mocks and also talk about quant DLR and other very interesting aspects. Okay, all right. Now, see some of the content. If you've attended our monthly sessions before, we do a session every month. Some of this content is repetitive, okay, because you might have seen this before. So I'm just going to quickly breeze through it. You can always, if you want details, you can go back and visit our previous sessions, or you can pause and see the slides. Or if you have any questions, please put those questions in Q&A. I'm happy to answer those questions as well. But the first section, I'll quickly go through it so that I can spend more time on mocks. Okay. All right. Now, oh, by the way, this meme, I hope I got this right. I got this at the last minute. This is, I think, Justin Timberlake, right? And there's something around it. I made sure that the meaning is appropriate, but I hope it's a good meme. I don't completely understand it. I'm sure you do, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Okay, so secret to VRC, right? I always say this: there is no secret to VRC, and if anybody tells you that there is a secret to VRC, run away from them. Okay, they're lying. The only thing that works for VRC is reading. Okay, and this shouldn't be some kind of like path-breaking information, world-shattering information for you right now. Okay, this should be pretty obvious by now that if you don't read, you will not succeed in VRC. It's as simple as that. Okay, so there's no getting away from reading. Now you are in May, so if you have these qualms that, oh, reading bores me, I don't like reading, it puts me to sleep, believe me, you don't have time to sort of get into these discussions. VRC is 1/3 of your exam. Reading is the only way to succeed in VRC. So if you want to achieve that dream B school, you will have to start reading, whether you like it or not. Okay, so please sort of get over that hurdle as soon as possible. Okay, now in terms of prep strategy, I always say this: the VRC section is a two-pronged prep strategy. Okay, the meme basically tells you what not to do in VRC. Okay, and then I'll tell you what to do in VRC. Now, the two parts to your VRC prep strategies: one is leisure reading, and part B is cat reading. I'll explain these two parts very quickly. Part A is leisure reading. This is about reading online magazines, newspapers, books, etc. Okay. Now, unfortunately, a lot of students ignore this because there's this weird misconception among them that leisure reading is not important. It is very, very important. Okay. You have to do both these aspects if you want to succeed in VRC and get a high percentile. Okay. Ronak, good question. I'll tell you what exactly you need to read in the next slide. So reading online magazines, newspapers, books, recreational reading is leisure reading. This is relaxed reading without any pressure. This is how you're pursuing a hobby. This is actually a hobby. So let's say if you're watching YouTube, watching Netflix, going to the movies, playing cricket as a hobby, you don't do that in a stressful state. Unless you're Rajesh, right? Rajesh plays his cricket and football. He takes these things very, very seriously. So probably he's even more stressed when it comes to football. But anyway, jokes apart, pursue this as a hobby, as a recreational activity. Don't do this under any pressure. Okay? Goal is to have fun with reading, fall in love with it so that you can build a consistent reading habit. Okay, and consistent is very important because you have to read at least till ZAT, and ZAT is going to be in the first week of January next year. Now this is getting closer, right? January 26 doesn't seem as far away in May. Now you'll come in June and July and it's going to get more and more closer. So start doing this right away. Okay, don't get yourself into this false security blanket that you have time. You don't have time. You just have about the right time. So start leisure reading. And this is hobby, recreational activity. Part B, of course, is cat reading, what I call cat reading. This is where you solve VRC questions. This is obviously very important. This is where you will do active and aggressive reading. Leisure reading is passive reading. Cat reading is active and aggressive reading. That means you have to completely concentrate, be fully tuned in, be very aggressive about comprehension. That is what CAT reading is all about. The approach is different. And goal is to learn the best in class VRC question strategies and practice a ton of questions. You will have to do both to succeed in VRC. Again, I'm repeating, don't make the mistake of ignoring A. You will hear this one or two odd man out or odd woman out previous test takers who will say, I scored 99.5 percentile in VRC without leisure reading. And then they will not tell you that they've been leisure reading all their life. Okay, so don't make this mistake. Do both of them. All right. If you have questions, put them in Q&A. Otherwise, I will keep continuing. I'm going to focus more on the mock part. Leisure reading. So I think one of you had a question. Let's talk about how much should you read. Start with 15 minutes a day. If you're starting from 0, start with 15 minutes a day. Go to 20, go to 30, go to 45, go to 60. Do this in 2-week intervals. You can still do this starting today. In June, this will be very different. This map will look very different. But if you're starting from 0 today, you just have to start with 15 minutes a day. Anybody can spend 15 minutes a day reading. Increase it in 2-week intervals. This does not include solving VRC questions. This is leisure reading completely. Okay. And the whole idea is to enjoy. So please start with 15 minutes a day. Take it up to 20, 30, 45, 60 in 2-week intervals. What should you read? These are the different sources. Okay. I'll spend some time here. Have a look at it. One of you had that question. Definitely check out Bharat's reading list. This is a 2IM initiative where we curate excellent articles every week. We give you 1 article a day from Monday to Friday. Our students get it in their WhatsApp groups, student groups. External students will see it on social media. Amazing set of articles curated by this legendary man called Bharat. So he used to work for 2IM. He curates articles from different genres. These are at CAT level, very, very interesting articles. So check that out. Read newspapers, online publications and magazines. These are very important because a lot of CAT passages come from here. In fact, if you look at last year, a lot of RCs came from Economist. In the past, a lot of RCs have come from Aeon or some from Guardian as well. Okay. So the first Guardian, Smithsonian, Walrus, AL Daily are free. Rest of them are paid. Don't pay for them right now. You can use their free articles. In 2 months' time, if you really get hooked onto one of them, then you can think about paying. Look at blogs. Look at non-fiction books. Aeon is very complex. So you don't have to start with Aeon, but eventually get to a point where you're reasonably comfortable with Aeon. Okay. And of course, fiction as well. Fiction should be last on your priority list. It's absolutely fine to read fiction, but read more of other things and then fiction at the end. Okay. All right. So I don't think there are any questions here. So that's okay. But have a look at this. These are some good sources that you can consult. Diversity is very important. So mix them up. Don't get stuck on one source. Okay. It's very, very important to mix it up. It's very important to mix genres. So you should be comfortable reading science, philosophy, psychology, culture, history, geography, everything, because CAT passages can come from any genre. So it's very important to mix it up. And start in your comfort zone, gradually step out of it. So if you're starting now, start with 15 minutes a day. Start with something that you really enjoy and slowly step out of your comfort zone. Okay. All right. Perfect. Let's move on. Now, that was about leisure reading. About CAT reading, you will definitely focus on effective reading strategies. And I'll talk a little bit about it. There is a certain way that you need to approach reading for CAT. Okay, unfortunately, in our school days, and this is true for me, this will be true for many of you as well, although education has improved now. But a lot of times we inculcate very bad reading habits over the years, and that doesn't work for CAT. So learn effective reading strategies, which will tell you the right way to approach reading for CAT. And this is a part of the VRC basics module at 2IM. Master VRC strategies. So different questions have different strategies. Learn the best in class strategies. Practice, obviously, do tons of practice. And of course, focus on mocks as well. So I've briefly covered this, right? Our course covers it. There are other sources as well. If you don't join our course, I'll give you those other sources as well. You can consult them. Okay, awesome. Now, effective reading strategies in VRC basics, where can you learn them? I've done a couple of sessions in the past. If you're our student, of course, we cover that in VRC basics. We have about 4 sessions focusing on basics, but Abhishek, our teammate, will share the links of these videos on chat. You can check them out. I've discussed effective reading strategies in the past and live sessions. So check out these sessions. It will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Abhishek will share these links in a bit. Okay. There's also a fantastic book called How to Read Better and Faster by Norman Lewis. It's an amazing book. If you're struggling with comprehension and speed, if you think that you need to improve on that, I would recommend this book. If you're reasonably good with comprehension and speed, no need to spend time. But if you're like, oh, I'm really struggling with this, then definitely check out this book. Abhishek will share this link. Now, mastering VRC strategies, each question type, RC, VA, para summary, para jumble has its own best-in-class strategies. Of course, there are some videos. What I do at 2IIM is every year we have VRC Blitzkrieg sessions where I discuss the past year paper in a live session. So we've done this since 2020. There are some of the links there which Abhishek will share with you, and you can get in. You can see the strategies that I use to solve those questions. Definitely check it out. Oh, sorry. Okay. Then comes to practice. Now, what about practicing, right? Since we're in May, start with 5 to 6 RCs a week, and then go and 10 to 12 VA questions a week. That's a target for May that I would suggest. 5 to 6 RCs a week, 10 to 12 VA questions a week of different types. June, do 7 to 8 RCs a week, 12 VA questions a week. And then July onwards, do 10 to 12 RCs a week, 15 to 20 VA questions a week till your exam. This is the schedule that I would suggest that you start following. Okay, it is a little aggressive given that we are in May, because that's what Rajesh was saying, right? Now in June, it will get even more aggressive. So it's just best to start as soon as possible so that you have time to warm up and then sort of gain momentum. Okay, somebody said justice for Abhishek. Right? He's probably hunting for those links. Okay, all right, let's move on. Now, okay, now let's talk about mocks. I'll talk about this for a little bit of detail and then hand it over to Rajesh. Now, mocks, this is the season to start mocks. People who've been preparing for quite some time, we recommend that they start their mocks in April and May. So that's why we're going to focus on mocks today. Now, mocks, when do I start? That's a question. Let's look at these first questions that I have for you. Okay, and you can tell me in chat what you think. So the quote is, I need to finish at least 70% of the CAT curriculum to start attempting mocks. Is this true or false, people? Tell me in chat. Tell me quickly. Ayato Music says false. What about others? Is this true or false? Quickly. Rajesh says false. Okay. What about others? Power Gaming Studio says false. ZZZ says true the most. Okay. Others quickly. False. Right. Okay. My camera snapped and my camera went down. All right. The answer is false. This is false. There is nothing like this. This is not your board exams. Okay, this is CAT. It's very different. There's nothing like this. Now let's come to the second statement. I need to finish at least 50% of the CAT curriculum to start attempting exams, start attempting mocks. True or false? Quickly. And this is not conditional. The first one is false out and out. Okay, what about the second one? True or false? The answer is false again. It's absolutely false. Let's go to the third one. I need to finish at least 20% of the CAT curriculum to start exams, start attempting mocks. Now, you might think that, oh, at least this one is true. This one is also false. This is a biggest myth. There is nothing like you don't have to finish any set of curriculum. Mocks are extremely important. Mocks are unarguably the most important part of your strategy. You need to start giving mocks right away. And mocks, CAT is structured in such a way that with zero preparation also, you can solve certain questions. In DLR, you can solve certain questions. In VRC, you can solve some questions without preparation. You can even start your preparation with a mock. And I'll talk about that later. But there is nothing like percentage of curriculum that you need to finish. Please start your mocks right away. We are in May. You should start writing mocks. Now, the schedule that we would recommend is in May, attempt 2 to 3 mocks. June onwards, start attempting 1 mock a week. This can be your schedule. I would also like to tell you about 2IIM's CAT diagnostic test. If you're just starting out your preparation, start by giving 2IIM's CAT diagnostic test. It's absolutely free of charge. It's 1 hour exam. Instead of 2 hour CAT exam, it's a 1 hour exam, but completely based on CAT standards. You can give this exam right in the beginning. It will tell you where you stand, and this will help you tailor your preparation accordingly. Okay, so definitely attempt that. But May 2 to 3 mocks, and June onwards, 1 mock a week. This should be your schedule. Important points to remember for mocks. Let's go through that. Quality over quantity. Okay, and this comes from the experience that I've had with students. A lot of students pride in talking about how they have given 80 mocks before the CAT exam. The number doesn't matter. Okay, if you're giving 80 mocks without analyzing them, they're useless. So it's always quality over quantity. That means what does this mean? That means you give the mock, every mock that you attempt it like the actual CAT exam. Don't think that it's a mock, so you'll start like wildly experimenting and doing all sorts of sort of getting distracted and everything. No, every mock that you give, those 2 hours, you should dedicate seriously as if you're writing the actual CAT exam. And then the analysis part is very important. Okay, I'll come down to the second part later. The analysis part is very important. Every mock should be followed by a robust analysis. So typically, if it's a 2-hour mock, your analysis should take a minimum of 2 hours. That means you're spending 4 hours on that mock. Analysis is even more important than giving the mock. And that's what determines quality. So keep that in mind. Conduct experiments, not like wild experiments, but experiments with different strategies. I'll talk about those VRC experiments in the next slide. But remember, mocks are there to help you refine your strategy for the exam. Different things work for different people. Like there are some people in VRC who start with RC, go to VA. There are some people who start with VA, go to RC. How do you determine this? You will determine this in mocks. You'll try out different things, see what works for you, and then use that strategy in the final exam. So please do conduct experiments. All right? Okay. Don't obsess over mock scores. It's easier said than done. I know that. But that is not why you're giving a mock. You're giving a mock to get used to the CAT format. You're giving a mock to refine your strategy, to try out different questions, and then do the analysis. Mock scores are bound to fluctuate. They will fluctuate. They fluctuate for everyone. I give mocks every year, a certain number of mocks before attempting the final exam. My scores also fluctuate. That's the nature of the game. So don't worry about that. Focus more on the analysis bit. Attempt past year papers as full-fledged mocks. Okay, so this is important. Now, the best mocks will be past year. So let's look at 21, 22, 23, 24. How many mocks do we have? We have 12 past year papers. Okay, these should be attempted as full-fledged mocks. So don't attempt them individually as practice questions. Attempt them as full-fledged mocks, and probably starting September, because they will give you a good idea of where you are in terms of your preparation. These are the best mocks available. Okay, and attempt mocks of at least 2 providers. It's very important. The reason why that is, of course, one of those providers should be 2IIM, obviously. Kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. I'm serious about this. But the reason why that is because you need to get used to different question paper styles. I set mocks. Rajesh sets mocks as well. Other senior faculties at 2IIM also set mocks. We all have our question setter styles. You need to expose yourself to different styles. So at least 2 providers. You should think about it. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Okay. There's one. We'll answer the questions in a bit. Okay. There's some interesting questions. I'll come down to that. Okay, now let's talk about mocks VRC experiments. What kind of VRC experiments? I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this slide and then hand it over to Rajesh. What kind of experiments should you conduct in mocks as far as VRC is concerned so that you can, refine your strategy? I'll list them down for you. First of all, through mocks, you need to determine what works for you. Does it work if you start with RC and then go to VA, or you start with VA and then go to RC? Different things work for different people. So for instance, for me, I start with RC, I go to VA. There are several of my students who've done very well, who started with VA, went to RC, because that's what works for them. This you'll have to figure out for yourself in mocks. So you'll have to attempt different mocks. And of course, one mock is not enough data points. You'll have to sort of try this in multiple mocks and determine what works for you, and then use that in the final exam. Then you should ask another experiment is, should I separate RC and VA? Or should I follow a mixed approach? Now, if you ask me, I will advise that you separate them. That means you start with RC, finish RC, go to VA. Or start with VA, finish VA, go to RC. Don't jump back and forth. But then there have been some students for whom a mixed approach has worked. So see if that works for you. But then you need to have data in terms of mocks for that. Okay. Third thing is time allocation. Now, how do you allocate your time between RC and VA? Do you give 30 minutes to RCs, or 25 or 20 minutes? Do you give 10 minutes to VA, 15 minutes or 20 minutes? That is something that mocks will tell you. Now, if you ask me, this is what I do. 30 minutes for RC, 10 minutes for VA. There are several students who do 25, 15. Rarely, there are people who do this as well. This is rare. It's either one of them. But sometimes it's 20-20. This depends, right? Whether RC is stronger for you, VA is stronger for you, what works for you. So try different time allocation and see what maximizes your score. Number of RCs. Should you attempt 2, 3, or 4? Now, the sweet spot, let me tell you, is this. 3 RCs. And always remember, you have to do VA. Now, one thing, don't make the mistake of ignoring verbal ability. Okay, that's like a disastrous mistake that you can make. This is not quant. In quant, you can skip, let's say, modern math, or you can skip geometry if you want, right? But in VRC, we don't skip. We prepare for RC, we prepare for VA. In the exam, we attempt both. Now, RCs, do you want to do 2, 3, or 4? Remember, you have to do VA as well. The sweet spot is 3. That you'll have to figure out for yourself. VA, there is round 1 and round 2. There is an excellent strategy that you can follow in VA. Learn about this as soon as possible. Round 1 and round 2, I don't have the time to explain that in detail, but basically it is you divide your VA subsection in 2 rounds. In round 1, you attempt the most manageable questions. So let's say if you have 10 minutes for verbal ability. In that 10 minutes, out of 8 questions, you will attempt the most manageable ones. Let's say in about 4 or 5 minutes. And then the remaining 3 minutes, round 2, you will attempt the time consuming. So when you do this, you make sure that you don't leave any manageable question on the table. Okay, round 1 and round 2 works excellently for quant as well. So definitely learn about the strategy, and in VRC, do that for VA. Experiment. For most students, it works. If it doesn't work for you, after several mocks, you drop it. That's the whole idea of doing this. So conduct these experiments. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm done, folks, with my set of section. I'll hand it over back to Rajesh, and I'll answer your questions on chat. And I'm also going to be around. If there are VRC questions, I'll answer them later as well. I hope you found them useful. I'll hand it over to Rajesh now.
Lovely. Thanks, Jatin. I'm going to go
Back
over and...
Yeah, no worries.
Hello, folks. I hope you can
I'm going to stay in the background now. Yeah.
You can see my screen. Hello. Can you see me? Yeah, lovely. I hope you can see my screen. Jatin here was... I like absolutely love it when Jatin has a go at a bunch of quant ideas. Right? So we have our own joke here. So if we compete with our verbal team, have a pop at each other. So I'm going to say, hey, many thanks, Jatin. Lovely to have a beautiful overview about all things verbal. I'm going to just round off with a few memes that Abhishek has very kindly curated. One on VRC. This is so true. This was absolutely dead true for me. The last couple of cats, at least not a couple of cats, last cat was a nightmare for me in verbal accuracy wise. I think I really need to try to lower my speed and focus more on getting it right. This, again, is good. Abhishek has had a good go at it. We have batches starting now in May. 7 months is sufficient. Been a bore about this. You put your head down, you commit to the journey, you prepare well. 7 months is more than sufficient. You can't dawdle your way in and kind of, like how Jatin said, you don't have time to ponder about what kind of reading is good. You should jump in and start reading left, right, and center. You cannot kind of vacillate and think about end things now, and you cannot go gallivanting on a big holiday. All of that is out. But you jump in, commit to a plan, and stick to it. 7 months is more than sufficient. Keep that in mind. Cat matters. So cat definitely matters. Having a few percentile points more can dramatically change your life. We will very often I tell my students who secure admits that not to be snooty about the colleges that they join. Be very nice and happy. If you join college rank 14 or 15, it's brilliant. Then the top 1,500 in the country, what's not to like? And so, having said that, the kind of doors a better percentile can open, phenomenal. It's absolutely worth your while spending 100 hours extra preparing for a CAT, most definitely. Don't have anything gimmicky in your repertoire. Don't plan around shortcuts in any form. And so shortcuts are absurd, ridiculous, and very often counterproductive. What they tell you is that using a shortcut, they solved one question and they could solve it in 1 minute sooner. But if you actually think about it, if you know a bunch of shortcuts, you validate them every now and then. With every chance, there are 5 questions where shortcuts didn't work. You plug them and wasted half a minute each. So all your gains are gone. And so what is unsaid is very instructive. The fundas behind the shortcuts are useful. But basic math is a load of crap. Prepare with a good sound plan. Clarity should emerge from it. Don't get drawn into these unnecessary discussions and gimmicks. Focus on what matters, most definitely. Start taking marks early. Don't keep deferring them. I think Jatin did a beautiful thing on what percentage of syllabus you should have completed before you start taking marks. That is 0. When you're taking marks, you will get beaten up. You will get beaten up and crushed and pulped to a mulch every now and then. I've gotten beaten up. I've gotten beaten up on live marks. How embarrassing it is to see lots and lots of people dial in to see you're getting fundamentally basic questions on verbal consistently wrong. Right? So I've had that happen to me. It's not the end of the world. You pick yourself up and then have another go at it. And so don't defer mock taking. Don't be worried about the odd score not being great. Scores will not be great. They don't need to be great. Just keep that in mind. With that, I'm going to shift to my next set of presentations. Again, I think I want to set a rapid pace because I want to have enough time for Q&A. You may be asking in the name of rapid pace, what am I looking for? Toggling my screens to find the right one to have. Second. Lovely. Stop sharing. And now I will very share. I hope you guys can see new relevant screen. Preparation strategies for CAT, the other thing. So take lots of mocks. Do not wait to complete all topics before taking mock. Take mocks from more than one provider. There is no such thing as too many tests. Do not worry about percentiles. Do not try different strategies. A bunch of these things Jatin has covered. Right, so I'm not going to go over and over this. I have what I would like to call golden rules of test taking. I'm going to run you through those. Don't trade accuracy for speed. And fast is fine, but accuracy is everything. Right, so very often your mock scores will carry some noise. Noise is too high, then you can't make any sense of the underlying. And so you will learn how to manage speed and how to have a trade-off for speed. But if you don't even learn that, I think you will be better off for it. Look to get almost everything right. And so this 40% hit rate or 50% accuracy is nonsense. Do not chase attempts. Do not chase speed. Speed is an output variable. You do lots of practice, you do a lot of reading, you do a lot of computational ideas, the speed will increase. You cannot say, because I want this percentile, I will need to attempt this many questions. That is not a good way to think. On question selection, when in doubt, leave. Very simple. You have the slightest bit of doubt, leave the question. Attempting a question that you should not have tried will kill you. Leaving a freebie doesn't hurt you. You don't know it's a freebie. Right. This comes back to the idea of speed versus accuracy. You need to learn how to take chances well, but making risk taking into a virtue makes you very foolhardy. You start jumping left, right, and center, and that's not good at all. Prioritization is key. In RCs, don't keep the RC for the last minute. In LR&DI, try to read the puzzle sooner. In quant, have a prioritization sequence with arithmetic starting in first and then going away later on. So this picture, I don't know if it makes sense to you guys. You have rocks, pebbles, and sand. You put sand in first, then some pebbles, then you put the rocks on top. The bottle doesn't get filled easily. You put the big rocks inside, put pebble, and then sand can find ways to go solid. And so the really big hitters, places that can make magic for you, that are big chunks, without which you can't really have a go at this paper, put them first. When you're preparing for verbal, it's reading. For LR&DI, it's variety. For quant, it's arithmetic. When you're solving, you can Do it in any sequence, but don't finish with an RC because it's too. You need to read before making sense. Right? So that prioritization part is key. Plans are nothing, planning is everything. Have your idea about where your marks are going to come from. Remember that will change based on how the exam is. Be happy to shift, but go in with some plan. Again, this plan gets formed iteratively. Harking back to what Jatin said, you will have to experiment and find out what your sweet spots are. But once you've done that and you create a good plan for yourself, stick to that. Be ready to change. Don't be married to a plan, but have a plan. Planning is important, not plans. Quit chasing that one question. That one question, one idea, one passage, one word, one meaning, one synonym, one puzzle can kill you. And so there will be some questions that are impossibly tough or weird or not in your comfort zone. Dump them. You'll have to lose the small battles in order to win the war. Fly off the blocks. I simply don't understand people who gently start with the paper. It's not even a 2-hour paper, right? There's a 3 40-minute papers. And so at second 3, you should be jumping and full of josh and reading. I used to be a poor starter and I've worked on it very aggressive. So think about Virendra Sehwag. There's no memory. The first ball is meant to be tonked. It gets tonked. It doesn't ease into anything. Whether it's test match or T20 or one day, it doesn't matter. There's no easing in. And easing in is for marks. The moment the gong goes, you fly. You fly. Sometimes the jitters go away once you start solving, once you start moving things. The devil sits in the details. So don't round off. Don't make silly assumptions. There's a very famous meme which says, I got the answer as 48. The answer choices are 1, 1.63, 1.78, and 1.92. I mark 1.92 because it's closest to my 48. For the love of God, don't do that. And so don't make those approximations. The details matter. This links and harks back to the point on that we had made originally on accuracy. Respect the detail. Last point, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Fire away. Make sure that you write CAT, XAT, SNAP. Don't burn your bridges. Don't be angry with your boss. Be careful about all the finer things. And so hedge your bets. Write GMAT if it is relevant for you. So on this, when I said prioritization is key, I said, look, prepare with arithmetic being your sweet anchor point. You want to kind of have a quote, one of the CAT papers. The 2023 CAT was insanely tough as far as the quant section was concerned. And insanely tough. What do I mean by that? 3 sigma tougher than usual. So if 40 marks fetched you some percentile in that 2023, same percentile you would have got with 25 marks in 2020. If 40 marks in 24 or 22, the same percentile you would have got with 25 marks in 23. It's a like for like, you need to get 70% of the marks vis-a-vis other CAT quants, other years CAT quant to get the same percentile. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go through these questions in quant from 2023, from slot 2, which are properly tough, right? And then say, hey, how do I go about this? What is the beauty in these quant questions? What do I mean when I say, please prepare with arithmetic as your big anchor? So this was CAT 2023 slot 2. Don't worry, I'm not going to solve all of this. I'm not going to have a big demonstration of how to go about quant question. Now is not the time for that. But if you look at this paper, there's this question on M, 2K, natural numbers, number systems. I'm going to say, hey, I don't want this. There is X's and Y's and inequality. No, I don't want this. Then there's exponents and X squares. No, I don't want this. Again, natural numbers, A par M, B par N, 144 par 145. So there's exponents, number systems, and variables. I'm not touching this. So you keep leaving. Number of positive integers less than 50. If you're really a big fan of number systems, you do this. Otherwise, we leave this. Logarithm with square root. No, I'm not touching. The quadratic equation and then k by 4y, 9y. Not touching. Here we go. After that nice long journey, we come to a point where there are some questions that are kind of relevant, are attackable. So I'm going to read this. In a company, 20% of employees work in the manufacturing department. Total salary obtained by all the manufacturing employees is 1/6 of the total salary obtained by all the employees in the company. Then the ratio of average salary obtained by the manufacturing employees to the average salary obtained by non-manufacturing. This I like. It talks about percentages, it talks about average, it talks about ratio. 20% of employees work in manufacturing. Say 20%, so I'm going to call this as X. My total will be 5X. The number of employees. I'm not going to write down number of employees. Two reasons. One, in an exam context, I won't write it. Two, I'm working with this quickly digital pattern. I don't want it. The total salary obtained by all the manufacturing employees is 1/6 of the total salary. This is Y. This is 6Y. Then the ratio of average salary obtained by manufacturing employees, the number of employees, this is total salary, Y by X. To average salary employed by non-manufacturing employees. So non-manufacturing is remaining 4X by Y. 5Y by 4X. Y by X is to 5Y by 4X. 1 is to 5 by 4. 4 is to 5. Thank you very much in the bag. So in this paper, where the first 6, 7 questions were like, oh my God, I can't touch this. I can't poke around with this properly. Difficult. There are questions like this, which long, but in some very sweet spot arithmetic topics. You say, hey, nice, getting this. Minu purchased a pair of sunglasses at ₹1,000 and sells to Kanu 10% profit. Minu sends to Kanu. Buys at 1,000, sells at 1,200. Why 1,200? 20% profit. Then Kanu sells it back to Minu at 20% loss. Back to Minu, 20% loss. 20% of 1,200 is 240. 960. Finally, Minu sells the same pair of sunglasses to Tanu. The total profit made by Minu from all her transactions is ₹500. And the percentage of profit made by Minu when she sold the pair of sunglasses to Tanu is, first of all, Minu sells to Kanu, makes ₹200. Very happy. Kanu sells back to Minu. Kanu loses some money. We don't care about that. We're interested only in Minu. Minu makes ₹200 in her first sale. So she should have made 300 in her second sale. So she makes a total profit of 500. So in this sale, she makes 300. So she sells it for ₹300 more. What is the question asked? Is asked the percentage of profit made by Minu when she sold a pair of sunglasses to Tanu. 300 minus 960 into 100. 30 by 96. Or 30 by 100 is 30. 30 by 96 should be a little more than 30. Should be 10. So in this paper, there are questions with percentages, profit and loss. That is super simple. A question with the ratios, averages, and percentages for the freebie. Let's keep on going on. Pipes A and C are fill pipes, while pipe B is a drain pipe or tank. Pipe B empties at full tank in 1 hour less than the time taken by pipe A. So pipe A takes A hours, pipe B takes A minus 1 hours. When pipes A, B, and C are turned on together, the empty tank is filled in 2 hours. 1 by A, say, minus 1 by A minus 1, which is for B, plus 1 by C is 1 by 2. In 1 hour, A will fill 1 by A of the tank. In 1 hour, B will drain 1 by A minus 1 of the tank. C will fill 1C of the tank, 1 by C of the tank. If pipes B and C are turned on together when the tank is empty, pipe B is turned off after 1 hour. Pipe B is operating for 1 hour. Then pipe C takes another 1 hour, 15 minutes to fill the tank. So pipe B for 1 hour, C for 1/4 hours fills the tank. So 1 by A minus 1 minus 1 by A minus 1 plus this is 9/4, 9/4C fills the tank completely. And minus 1 by A minus 1 plus 9/4C is 1. With this, we need to find C. This is a tricky question. This is a pain in the neck because we have A minus 1, C. We'll take this, plug it back into this, and then we'll get a quadratic. In an ideal world, this question should have been skipped. But chances are we ended up trying this. One of the reasons I went this far attempting this question is to say your decision making is not going to be full. You're not going to be able to pick every question correctly. You can say, look, I'll go have a go at everything in arithmetic. But this one, I go this far and say, no, I don't want this. Because now it looks tricky. And then I'll skip this and go. Ravi is driving at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour in a road. Ravi, 40 kilometers per hour. Vijay is 54 meters behind Ravi. 54 meters. And driving in the same direction as Ravi. Ravi goes this way, Vijay is also going this way. Ashok is driving along the same road from the opposite direction at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour. Okay. Ashok is coming at 50 kilometers per hour. It's 225 meters away. My diagram does not look to be on scale. That's all right, we'll live with this. The speed in which kilometers per hour at which Vijay should drive so that all the three cross each other at the same time. I think the relative speed is 90 kilometers per hour, 40 plus 50. 90 into 5 by 18, it is in meters per second, which is 25 meters per second. These two will cross each other in 225 by 25 in 9 seconds. Vijay should catch up 54 meters in 9 seconds. The relative speed should be 6 meters per second. 6 meters per second is 6 into 18 by 5 kilometers per hour. 6 into 3.6, 21.6. You should be traveling at 21.6 kilometers per hour more than Ravi. Done. Nothing at all. I won't say nothing at all. I've done lots and lots of questions so that I know all of this, which you should do. But very doable question. So, Anil borrows 2 lakhs at rate of interest 8% per annum, compounded half early. 2 lakhs, 1.04, 1.04. He repays 10,320 at the end of the first year. He repays 10,320 at the end of the first year. And then closes the loan by paying outstanding amount later the third year. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.04 over 4. Why did I put 0.4? Because it's for 6 months, half a year. Why 4? 4 half-yearly periods. The total interest in rupees, nothing. Put 2 lakhs into 1.04 whole square here. Subtract 10,320. Get that number. Do that into 1.04 whole power 4 here. Get the net outstanding. Add that to this. That is the amount you have paid back. Amount borrowed is 2 lakh. Subtract that if you get the answer. You have a calculator. It's a freebie. So these are the kind of questions. This again, very, very, very doable. Read this. I'm not going to solve this. I'm going to say this is our 6th question from arithmetic. We skipped one. We are at 5. If you do these 5 questions and get 15 marks in this paper, that would have taken you above 90th percentile. And so you get 5 questions right in a paper like this from arithmetic, get a 90th percentile. Right. So in an easier paper, it's probably 7, 8 questions. The point is all of these were from arithmetic, 1 or 2 more from arithmetic, mixtures, just equation writing, and we go back to number system. In this paper, it was very tough. You had 8 questions from arithmetic. 1 was very tricky, another 7 were doable. Do 5 of them, you're coasting past section cutoffs and waltzing into territory where you become a container, where you're mixing it. And so when I say prioritize, when I say make sure that you start with fundas, we start with learning arithmetic, this is what I mean. Want to make sure that you take arithmetic, put it in the bag, be super comfortable with this, and then attack the rest. Right? So I'm pretty much done. I'm going to take questions now. I'm going to see if we can leave you with a meaningful slide. And we'll take questions after that. So it is Labor Day indeed. What will be the point that have a Labor Day linked theme sitting in a paper? So over to you guys for questions. We've done one good round. I'm going to, 1 second. There's something about the screen that's not sharing well.
I can, in the meantime, answer a question in Q&A. Royal Enfield, when will 2M release its mock? Tomorrow. Okay, we're starting with our first mock tomorrow. Okay. So if you're a student, you will get access to that mock tomorrow. And if you're not a student, then you will get details about a test series on social media tomorrow. Okay, so watch out for that.
Lovely. I think I've taken it to the slide that I wanted to take it to. I'm going to leave the slide on for a few seconds. Meanwhile, have a good questions. Mocks are getting released tomorrow. I'm just having a look at the chat.
This meme is funny. It's trying to figure it out. Can't see the number, you aren't creating enough shares.
Para summary and para completion videos, yes, they will be there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The 7 months prep time enough? This question from Sankam Paul, 100% sufficient. Managing my college studies, if you're in the final year, managing college studies should be a piece of cake.
Sorry, no, I was just kidding. Rajesh, go ahead.
There was one question from Akhilandeshwari about how to worry about speed, how to build speed. Again, I'm a very big bore about this. So too is Jatin. Speed is like an output variable. What do I mean by that? You do a bunch of things, speed improves automatically. Don't chase. Don't say, I want to read at this many words per minute. Don't say, I need to solve these questions at within 3 minutes, within 2.5 minutes. They are my level questions. They are my ideal questions. So all of these are kind of distractions. You read, and go away, go berserk reading. Then your verbal speed automatically improves. Solve. Your brain starts automating processes. You start thinking a little bit ahead of how your hand moves when you're writing down equations. You're solving naturally in autopilot. Then when that happens, you're in the zone. You become Zen-like. In that space, your speed automatically goes up. Speed is incidental. Don't go looking for ideas to increase speed. Because you do that, then you're going to end up completely compromising on accuracy. On this meme, just to clarify, on that yellow thing, there isn't a number. So it's a joke on generating shareholder value. And shareholder value is a myth. And shareholder value is not a myth, but it's one of those things that get thrust on our throat when probably it shouldn't. And so the other things that are more important in life than chasing shareholder value for some other shareholders. Shubhodip Matra, I joined 2IIM, so more or less beginning my prep just now. Live classes plus self-course, advanced test enough. More than enough. I think you've missed out on mocks. You need to take tons of mocks. Varshita Kalyan, how much time do we invest in a day for CAT alone? Taking a break here and I'm preparing, aiming for 99.5 percentile. You should look to do 2 to 3 hours of preparation without counting reading. An hour of reading does not get counted as preparation, but is super essential. You should do it every single day, including the day you go to the exam center. And reading is super crucial. Read away to glory. Leaving that aside, you're looking for 2 to 3 hours per day. Uttam, there are a few other exams available in the portal. Forget about all other exams till CAT gets over. Because after CAT is when the other exam cycle comes in. The only thing that you'll probably can take ahead of time is NMAT. Forget about even NMAT for now. Attack CAT till end of September. Every other exam you can do 2 weeks and add that on. You prepared for CAT, you add 2 weeks, you're ready for NMAT or SNAP or whatever. XAT, you need a little bit more time because of business decision making. But for XAT, you get a month and a bit after CAT. So don't worry about any of the other exams right now. Prepare for CAT.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka, how many hours? Sorry, go for it, Jatin.
Sorry, Rajesh. If you're a 2IM student, the ZAT business decision making, we'll cover that in December in live classes, so you'll get access to that. Okay, and for NMAT SNAP also, we conduct a few live classes to cover those extra portions as well. But yeah, but right now I think, as Rajesh said, you just need to focus on CAT as of now. Yeah.
Sri Lanka, I think your question is on how to build, how to track speed and build speed. We've already covered that. I'm going to skip that. We'll have a look at these questions. Will we have to attend mocks on fixed dates? It helps to have discipline every Sunday, every Friday, something like that. But you don't need to, but that discipline really helps.
Yeah.
Infant Roshan, if I'm starting tomorrow with no prior knowledge, how much time should I dedicate each day? To start with 15 to 20 hours per week, it goes to 20 to 25, then to 25 to 30. Mr. Tilta, I'm planning for PGDBA exam. I've already purchased the course. I don't see any content on this exam or there's lots of content on that exam. Mr. Tilta, please reach out to us. A lot of these classes that we are adding now, and we'll be adding from now on difficult in inequalities, difficult in number systems, difficult and kind of exponents and logarithms. The last of this class sections, they're all relevant for PGDBA, not really relevant for CAT. So we clearly say this level of difficulty in these topics is too tough for CAT, but smacked in the level of difficulty for PGDBA and IPMAT. We put that in the CAT scores because some people have this feeling that, look, I can do a little bit more. So we leave that there, clearly communicating that the level of difficulty is slightly higher than CAT. But the PGDBA quant is tougher than CAT quant. For PGDBA students, that is very much part of the syllabus. I jotted down 10 golden rules. And I think I can ace CAT because I've written down, that some people writing down this is very therapeutic.
Yeah.
It feels like, look, I've written down
Yeah, but also writing down, like there's also some science behind it. Like for instance, when we do RCs, right, I tell students that some of them, most of them will take mental notes of like, you read a paragraph, you extract the main point. Some of them like to write it down. And actually there is this science of reading which tells us that the moment you write down something, your brain registers it better. Okay. So, if that works for you, like there is some bit of science behind it. Just writing down things your brain sort of takes it more seriously, it registers it better. So, it's always a good thing to write it down if that works for you.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying one question. Akash was asking, how can I remember words and words meaning? I keep trying, but I forget most of the words. So there is a way to do it, Akash. See, there are to improve vocabulary, right? And which is important. Although CAT doesn't have vocabulary questions, it's important from an RC perspective. So what I would suggest is, Akash, you can use apps. There are excellent apps, and you guys are like apps first generation, right? So you folks should use apps. There's an app called, by the way, 2M has nothing to do with this, but I've used this app before. It's called nudge.me. I've just typed that in chat, nudge.me. Okay, so download that. It's a free app. There's a paid version also, but you don't need to pay for it. It's only available on Android. Use that to improve vocabulary. You can use vocabulary.com as well. It's an excellent website for vocabulary. And also Merriam-Webster also, I think, has an app. Okay, so use these resources. What they will do is they will teach you a word and they'll keep sort of throwing that word again at you in a few days' time in regular intervals to help build retention. Okay, so use that. Also, whenever you're looking up a word, look up the meaning. 3 things. Look up the meaning, pronunciation, and sentence usage of the new words. Okay, always do this. So for instance, if you're looking up, let's say, narcissistic, so check out the meaning, check out the pronunciation, and check out the sentence usage. Spend a little bit of time on that word. Just checking the meaning, you'll forget. But if you spend a little bit of time, learn how to pronounce, learn the sentences, more chances of you remembering that word. And also, if a word is really troubling you, right? Let's say, you can't for the life of, like, you've seen it 5 times, you still can't remember the word. I'll give you an example. There's a word called perfidy. Okay. I don't know. I looked it up like multiple times. I always used to forget the meaning. So what I went and checked the image of perfidy. So if you go to Google Images, just type perfidy, not perfidy meaning. Just type perfidy. It will show you an example of some like 4 men standing and trying to cheat. Now that image is ingrained in my head. I can never forget the meaning of perfidy. The moment you say perfidy, that image pops up and I know it's cheating. It's deceit. So look up images of words. That will also help you to retain these words. Try these things. Okay, it'll definitely help.
Lovely.
No problem.
I'm going to use this. I keep forgetting perfidy. I think you found a very good example. Perfidy is a pain in the neck.
It's a pain. It's a pain. Yeah.
I'm going to have one go at a bunch of things that Abhishek said we should cover. See, perfidy is there, sitting there. Those of you looking to prepare.
See that word, the fifth image of those 4 guys standing like backhand dealing.
Post. Yeah. So that works. So I was poking around, exactly. So it is good.
No, it's good.
For those of you who are preparing now, really helps to have a beautiful schedule. So we have 2 AM CAT schedule. You Google that. Then you will go on to the schedule. It's a beautiful preparation schedule. You can put down details here and solve it and kind of download that and follow that. Obviously, carve your own schedule. Don't be reliant on one schedule handed over to you by someone else or some other system. Make sure you extract your own schedule. Another thing that we have quite niftily added on starting today is the 2 AM daily quiz, the daily habit quiz. Sign in as a free user. You will get to your enrollment. The link is going to be given in this video itself. And then you hit this thing called CAT habit. Daily quiz will be a quiz every day. Goes here. You start the quiz, you take the quiz, you mark answers. Obviously, now I'm firing away and just clicking on some answers. Lovely, many of the answers turned out to be right. But I very much doubt it. I just want to show you this interface, how it works. Lovely. You can click here, you submit, you get your scores straight away. So, see, it's a fantastic score for someone who's guessing, but someone who's guessing kind of knew all these questions because I had checked out all the questions. The beauty of this is not just submitting this. We at 2 AM are crazy about solving and solutions. So we will have solution videos for all of these. Any question we have, we will have a solution sitting there. And for most questions, we'll have a solution video as well. And so we're very particular about being able to solve questions and not just give them as I say you can. So solutions will be in great detail with kind of lots of ideas thrown in, not just giving an answer to a question. So we are very particular. We kind of insanely pride ourselves on how we teach, not just provide content. So our solutions are detailed and painfully crafted. Keep that in mind. With that, the backdrop thing also we have cleared. I'm going to just look at the questions now, take them for maybe another 5 minutes. Is prepping vocabulary at 7 months to exam not required. PGDBA limits and continuity. We'll have that. And the limits and continuity is a favorite topic of mine. There are questions on limits and continuity, but we've not really done theory on it. We will have it ready before PGD. If it's not there on the website, ping me, I will leave it on the website. Lovely. Over to you, Jatin. If there are any questions that I've missed, fire away.
No, I think we've solved all the questions. I think Shreya has one question, Rajesh, about GMAT and CAT. Maybe we can close with that.
I'm scrolling. By any chance, do you know the question, Jatin?
Yeah, it says, what would you suggest for someone who wants to attempt GMAT along with CAT?
My preference is for finishing one exam, then going to the other and parallelly preparing, because the styles are different. If you're looking for GMAT in this cycle, you should look to take the GMAT by September. Give yourself 2 full months to come back to CAT. The CAT syllabus is broader. So I would say if you're starting now, start preparing for CAT. Get the basics done, get the quant part done, get some logical reasoning done. Shift to GMAT by say July 1st week, 2 months of GMAT prep, focusing on verbal and focusing on exam taking, all of that. Sign off on GMAT by September 1st and come back to CAT from September 15th to November 23rd or 24th or whatever that is, the last 1.5 months. The GMAT preparation, exam taking, all of that will be helpful for CAT. If you're not in a hurry with GMAT, finish CAT on November 25. On November 26, start for GMAT. Prepare for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, hit that in January. Your deadline hustle works for that. I'm not a fan of preparing for both simultaneously. Subah ek GMAT mock likh liya, sham ko ek CAT mock likh liya.
Yeah,
that
that's
kind of sometimes messes with my brain. So I wouldn't recommend that. Even that works for some people. And so that I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah. Lokesh, the answer to that is a big yes. Okay, thoughts on tracking mocks in Excel? It is worth the hassle, definitely. Analysis, when you're doing the analysis, take notes. Take notes of the analysis. Take notes of your error patterns. If you're making let's say, for instance, if you're swapping the last 2 digits of a parajumble again and again and again, note that down. That's a pattern that you have to, keep in mind. Track your scores. Do that. Don't go overboard with it, but it is worth the effort that you're putting in. So do that. Do track it.
Chennai Food Explorer, how should I approach classes? Go through the class from fundamentals. We're doing, say, profit and loss, do profit and loss completely, do checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, do profit and loss 2, prep edge. So the funda is for learning, checkpoint is for consolidation, prep edge is for benchmarking. Everything is rolled into one thing. Then you say, look, I'm done. Then you take stock and you say, look, it feels like I've got this topic. I'm very comfortable. Even prep edge I could handle. I'm going to go to ratios. That is good. Or it could feel like, look, I've got the funda, but I'm not game ready. I'll do a few more advanced tests to get ready. Look, I've got the concept, but I'm not automatically thinking minus 20% is 4 by 5. So I need to do a few more practice tests. Do that. Again, when you're revisiting, if your fundas are gone, go to the theory. If the automation part is gone, then do the consolidation quizzes. Everything is there, but the speed is missing. That some edge is missing. You're not able to do the difficult question. Go and do advanced test. So where you land is dependent on what your weakness is. Can I take only questions and mock paper from 2M? 100% yes. We have a mock product which is launching. The first mock is released. It's going to be released tomorrow. Our mock will be officially released tomorrow, day after. 100% yes. Anup Tiwari is faculty from Nagpur. Time Nagpur, oh, lovely. Nagpur is a wonderful, wonderful city. I'd gone to Nagpur to meet with the gang from HR mentors, Hitesh and Rishabh. Known each other for a while. I went there, met all their students. They hosted me in a fabulous fashion. It's a lovely, lovely visit. And someone we know who's been given a lot of gyan on how to handle verbal. Is also actually incidentally happens to be from
yes,
Nagpur.
Anup, I was born and brought up in Nagpur. Nagpur is my hometown. So good to see you here.
Lovely. Lovely guys. It's 10:10. Good to see and catch up with all of you. Hopefully we've answered most of the questions. We will, if not, post it on comments. We'll shoot videos and upload them. The 10 golden rules, there is an entire video on that on our 2M channel. We can post a link there if you want that. The rules on how to read, all of those links are available in chat and in description. We'll make it available in comments also. When will the one-to-one student faculty sessions that they've already started? Probably winding their way to your number.
Correct. Yeah, you will get it sooner. Very soon.
Krishnadeep, how do I manage between 2M books, live classes, and self-paced? Books are for revisiting specific things. Keep them aside. You need them, you go to the books. Self-paced has all the content. Live is for providing the discipline. So if you're sitting in live class and sticking to that schedule, whatever you want to revisit, use the self-paced for that. Whatever you want to go one more time over, go to the self-paced for that. Live provides a schedule, self-paced provides the backbone. And your books are like substitute or like it's slightly in the backbone. Can we expect 2 IM classes in Coimbatore? Arman Vasant is scrounging the streets of Coimbatore as we speak to start something.
Scrounging.
So we will soon be there. I think
Yes.
Coimbatore is fantastic. We've gone there a bunch of times. It's fantastic for hospitality. That's a fabulous restaurant. I'm very keen to do something in Coimbatore.
Yeah, Coimbatore is lovely. Lovely place. Lovely people. Yeah.
Place. We will be there in Coimbatore sooner rather than.
Yes.
We sincerely hope to be there in Coimbatore sooner rather than. Can we expect 2 IM mocks by June? Though they'll be there now.
Yeah, they're starting tomorrow. So yeah.
Hello, guys. When can we get the plan PDF? You do 2 IM schedule, Google kar do, abhi mil jayega. New week. Straight away you'll get it. Lovely session, folks. I'm also beginning to enjoy this format where I'm generally shooting the breeze with Jatin also sitting in. It's very nice to have two of us have a chat. It feels like a good conversation also. Good to touch base with all of you. We're going to sign off. As ever, if there is anything that that we have missed out on or we would like answered, please post that on comments. The specific questions, we'll answer them and upload them as video. If it is some set of questions, we'll do one more live sessions, couple of weeks, 3 weeks time.
Yeah. And Abhishek has already promised you a separate live session for VRC, which I'm more than happy to do it. So we'll do that. VRC strategies. Okay. All right. Take care,
Lovely,
folks.
guys. All right.
Great
care.
talking to you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.